Okay. Good afternoon. Just being honest. Hi, sis.
Good afternoon. Good
Yeah.
afternoon. Where am I? uh, Hi, everyone. Hi, sis.
Hello.
We still haven't washed our clothes, huh? Is it
Oh my
sixth
gosh.
day in a row?
I'm getting rank. Yeah. Okay. Do you
Okay.
want your turn to read? Yeah,
Is it?
I think so.
Okay, we're up to lesson 134. Let me perceive forgiveness as it is. Let us review the meaning of forgive. For it is apt to be distorted and to be perceived as something that entails an unfair sacrifice of righteous wrath, a gift unjustified and undeserved, and a complete denial of the truth. In such a view, forgiveness must be seen as mere eccentric folly, and this course appear to rest salvation on a whim. This twisted view of what forgiveness means is easily corrected when you can accept the fact that pardon is not asked for what is true. Can we just slow down a bit here?
Yeah.
Okay. It's easily corrected when you can accept the fact that pardon or forgiveness is not asked for what is true. It is not asked for what is real.
It's not asked for what somebody actually
Did.
did. Mhm. Yeah.
But what about my abusive childhood, huh?
What abusive childhood?
Yeah, thank you. All right. Next, it must be limited to what is false. It is irrelevant to everything except illusions. So he's saying that forgiveness is irrelevant to everything except illusions, right, sis?
Yes. So
Okay.
forgiveness is not required. He's not asking us to do something about forgiving something that actually occurred. Only illusions are being asked to be forgiven. Okay, so just stay with us here. But forgiveness is only arises in relationship to illusions. It is impossible that something real can be forgiven.
Good. Thank you. Continuing here, truth is God's creation, and to pardon that is meaningless. All truth belongs to Him, reflects His laws, and radiates His love. Does this need pardon? How can you forgive the sinless and eternally benign? Right. Okay. The major difficulty that you find in genuine forgiveness on your part is that you still believe you must forgive the truth and not illusions. What a statement,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
What a statement. Mm. You conceive of pardon as a vain attempt to look past what is there, to overlook the truth in an unfounded effort to deceive yourself by making an illusion true. This twisted viewpoint but reflects the hold that the idea of sin retains as yet upon your mind as you regard yourself.
This is so big. You know, if we really get this like completely, I would say 80% of the course would be like we would just be just standing just outside of the gates of heaven. Um,
Right.
this is so big. You know, even I've listened to like Christian radio programs. Sometimes I really enjoy their Bible based messages, but even still, they're making the actions, unkind treatment, things that people say, things in the world that seem harmful, real. But they're saying, rise up, be the better man. Forgiveness as of God. Love your neighbor, even if he's an SOB. Love him anyway. You know, love as Jesus loved. Overlook his sins. Oh boy.
Wow. So they're making the sin real and then saying, because you are the greater. of the two,
Mhm.
you can what? Overlook his sins.
That's right. Somehow you're here closer to God and your brother's down here, bless his heart. But we're going to forgive him
Poor
for
bastard.
what he really did to you. He didn't
Yeah.
know, but we'll just forgive him for where he's at. Thank God for the course. We're gonna plummet now. We're gonna take this to a whole nother level. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so what's the basis for all of this confusion where we believe that someone sinned and we are the greater of the two, so we're going to forgive the other person's real sin, right? So
Right.
let's go to this next paragraph 4. That's the FIP version. Where are we up to? Sorry, sis,
You're right, because yep.
am I up to because you think your sins are real?
Yes.
Okay. Because you think your sins are real, you look on pardon as deception. For it is impossible to think of sin as true and not believe forgiveness is a lie. Oh, I remember this. Oh, wow. Thus is forgiveness really but a sin, like all the rest. It says the truth is false and smiles on the corrupt as if they were as blameless as the grass, as white as snow. It is delusional in what it thinks it can accomplish. It would see as right the plainly wrong, the loathsome as the good. Just a flashback for me, and I might have mentioned this before, but I do remember a particular incident where I thought I was full of the Holy Spirit, and having sustained some abuse from my mother when I was younger, I started the course and I thought, look, I will just go and visit her, bring her a bunch of flowers, and tell her that I forgive her.
Sorry. Yeah. How'd that go? Oh my gosh.
Well,
That's
the flowers ended up in shreds on the floor. And I was told to piss off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it
boy.
didn't go well. No. Okay. Yes, because I was still thinking that I was forgiving something real, right? Okay. Okay, so where are we up to now?
Because you oh, sorry, it's delusional. And the loathsome as good. So you read the full of paragraph 4.
I did.
Yeah. So can we stop for a second though? Like, why is it that we are so hell bent on making the sin in somebody else real?
Good
Okay,
question.
so yeah, we go back over the last few lessons. It's like, who's seeing that? And what's the benefit to the one seeing that really ungodly, sinful behavior in somebody else? Is that not the sin that I am convinced that I am as I go around the world saying my name is Coreen Walson? If I really believe that I am the separated self, I am full of guilt because I believe that I have sinned against God, and that's pretty inconvenient. That's pretty uncomfortable. So I'm going to project it out there onto a brother, and I'm going to hang my brother and crucify my brother for the sin that I don't want to see and come to terms with, right? And then to forgive my brother his real sin, oh my gosh, that might put turn that light back onto the attention back onto myself. And I need it to be on my brother. I don't want him off the cross. I don't want him to be released because my sin is safe in him. Yeah.
Wow, that really perpetuates the ego thought system, doesn't it?
Oh,
And nothing else does.
yeah, we're not at all interested in getting our brother off the hook. We want it there. We put it there because it keeps us innocent.
Fake innocence, right?
Fake innocent. My crooked.
Anybody who says they're innocent is exclusive
Mhm.
and it's not shared by everyone else, then it's fake innocence. There can be no innocence while guilt is projected outward, right?
Because there's one of us here.
Yeah.
The one that you're crucifying with your story that's still you. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't even know where I'm up to. Sorry, everyone.
No, that's me. Pardon is no escape.
Oh, okay. Paragraph 5. Pardon is no escape in such a view. It merely is a further sign that sin is unforgivable, at best to be concealed, denied, or called another name, for pardon, forgiveness, is a treachery to truth. Guilt cannot be forgiven. If you sin, your guilt is everlasting. Those who are forgiven from the view their sins are real are pitifully mocked and twice condemned, first by themselves for what they think they did, and once again by those who pardoned them.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
A vicious ego, right?
Let's go to church and get some of that.
Oh, boy. Okay. Okay, so 6. It is sin's unreality that makes forgiveness natural and wholly sane, a deep relief to those who offer it, a quiet blessing where it is received. It does not countenance illusions, but collects them lightly with a little laugh and gently lays them at the feet of truth. And there they disappear entirely. Oh, I love that. Wow. Forgiveness is the only thing that stands for truth in the illusions of the world. I'm going to read that again. Forgiveness is the only thing that stands for truth in the illusions of the world. It sees their nothingness and looks straight through the 1,000 forms in which they may appear. It looks on lies, but it is not deceived. It does not heed the self-accusing shrieks of sinners mad with guilt. It looks on them with quiet eyes and merely says to them, "My brother, what you think is not the truth."
Mm.
The strength of pardon is its honesty, which is so uncorrupted that it sees illusions as illusions, not as truth. It is because of this that it becomes the undeceiver in the face of lies, the great restorer of the simple truth, by its ability to overlook what is not there. Wow, there's forgiveness.
That's it.
By its ability to overlook or to look past appearances of what is not there, it opens up the way to truth, which has been blocked by dreams of guilt. That's the ego's filter of guilt,
That's
right?
Yes.
Or its veil of terror. Yeah. Now are you free to follow in the way your true forgiveness opens up to you. For if one brother has received this gift of you, the door is open to yourself. Oh,
There's the whole
beautiful.
process.
Huh?
There's the whole process right there.
Isn't it?
Everybody gawking at the gap and what's in the gap and crucifying each other for what we've done in the gap. And yet a brother just stops and says, you know what, for a moment, I'm sane and I'm going to see past the false appearances. I know that this has never existed in God. God has not caused this. This is only going on in an illusory gap. And I'm going to overlook it. I'm not going to bear witness to it. And so that's what removes the filter. That's what gives an open space. Now there's a place for Holy Spirit to actually be heard, because while we're all sitting there swearing by our physical senses that something bad is happening, that we create that space by in forgiveness. The overlooking, this cannot be true, it's not happening. That's practicing the pause. And now there's that openness that we've created in our mind. Now Holy Spirit can be heard, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or felt. Yeah.
Yes. And
That's
he
it.
says, now are you free to follow in the way your true forgiveness opens up to you.
Mm.
Right? So now we're given the way in which to say or to do or to express or not to do, just to know, mentally to hold to the truth. But when one brother has received this gift, it is a gift. In the midst of insanity, I've chosen, because of love, to stop and be the presence of sanity, to allow light to shine in my mind, that I might give it in the gap, right? And he says, as you do that, as you receive, if you're present, practice the pause and be present enough to ask for that light and to receive it, to extend it, that you receive it for yourself in that giving. And that's forgiveness.
Wow.
A to Z.
Wow, wow, wow. As we accept it for ourselves, we accept it for our brother or sister, right? It's all happening simultaneously.
Simultaneously,
in
yes.
an instant.
Mm-hmm.
That's what light does.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't need time.
No.
Beautiful. Thank you, sis.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Okay, am I up to 9, I think?
Yes.
There is a very simple way to find the door to true forgiveness and perceive it open wide in welcome. When you feel that you're tempted to accuse someone of sin in any form, do not allow your mind to dwell on what you think he did, for that is self-deception. Oh, how many millions of times have we done that, right? Let's be honest. How many times do we play the sin over in our mind, over and over again? Yeah. And then come up with ideas on how to get revenge. Or is it just me?
No. Yep. You got that market covered, sis. It's all you.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. I shouldn't have said that, right? Okay. Ask instead, would I accuse myself of doing this? That's a big question, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Thus, will you see alternatives for choice in terms that render choosing meaningful and keep your mind as free of guilt and pain as God himself intended it to be and as it is in truth? It is but lies that would condemn. In truth is innocence, the only thing there is. That's the incorruptible innocence that we are. That is the total sinlessness that we are, right? Mm-hmm. Forgiveness stands between illusions and the truth, between the world you see through the ego's veil of terror filter and that which lies beyond, which is the real world, between the hell of guilt and heaven's gate. Across this bridge, as powerful as love which laid its blessing on it, are all dreams of evil and of hatred and attack brought silently to truth. They are not kept to swell and bluster and to terrify the foolish dreamer who believes in them. He has been gently wakened from his dream by understanding what he thought he saw was never there. What he thought he saw was never there. And now he cannot feel that all escape has been denied to him. He does not have to fight to save himself. He does not have to kill the dragons which he thought pursued him, nor need he erect the heavy walls of stone and iron doors he thought would make him safe. He can remove the ponderous and useless armor made to chain his mind to fear and misery. His step is light, and as he lifts his foot to stride ahead, a star is left behind to point the way to those who follow him.
That is so beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful? I felt that. I got the chill.
I don't ever remember reading that before, but that just, it's, anyway, sorry. That's me exclaiming.
Thank you.
That's
Thanks
lovely.
for feeling that.
Mhm.
That's acceptance, in that moment when we really feel that. That's the acceptance. Thank you.
Mm.
Forgiveness must be practiced, for the world cannot perceive its meaning, nor provide a guide to teach you its beneficence. Am I pronouncing that right?
Beneficence.
Beneficence.
Mhm.
Beneficence. Oh, man. Here we
Yeah.
go. There is no thought in all the world that leads to any understanding of the laws it follows. Wow. I got to read that again. There is no thought in all the world that leads to any understanding of the laws it follows, nor the thought that it reflects.
That's why it is just so dang miraculous. And it's the only thing in the world of illusions that points to truth, because the rest of the world says, hey, if I'll believe it when I see it. Seeing is believing. My senses saw, I was there. Okay. I felt it. Don't tell me that it didn't happen. Right. But here's this forgiveness to say, in truth, is innocence the only thing there is? And if you are not perceiving it, it is because you're looking through a filter, and you are only seeing a distortion. You are looking in darkness, trying to make sense of unreality, of chaos. The sights and sounds have never been heard nor said. Your insistence upon seeing a brother as they've never been is the guilt in your mind. I mean, wow, forgiveness really flies in the face of everything.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to unpack it.
It is. Yeah.
This way, because there's no escape from the truth in this. You can't argue against this, right? Once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? Yeah. Okay, so it is as alien to the world as is your own reality, and yet it joins your mind with the reality in you. Today, we practice true forgiveness, that the time of joining be no more delayed, for we would meet with our reality in freedom and in peace. Our practicing becomes a footsteps, lighting up the way for all our brothers who will follow us to the reality we share with them. That this may be accomplished, let us give a quarter of an hour twice today and spend it with the guide who understands the meaning of forgiveness and was sent to us to teach it. Let us ask of him this. Let me perceive forgiveness as it is. Then choose one brother as he will direct and catalogue his sins as one by one they cross your mind. Be certain not to dwell on any one of them, but realize that you are using his offenses, but to save the world from all ideas of sin. Briefly consider all the evil things you thought of him, and each time ask yourself, would I condemn myself for doing this? Let him be freed from all the thoughts you had of sin in him. And now you are prepared for freedom. If you have been practicing thus far in willingness and honesty, you will begin to sense a lifting up, a lightening of weight across your chest, a deep and certain feeling of relief. The time remaining should be given to experiencing the escape from all the heavy chains you sought to lay upon your brother, but were laid upon yourself. Forgiveness should be practiced through the day, for there will still be many times when you forget its meaning and attack yourself. When this occurs, allow your mind to see through this illusion as you tell yourself this: let me perceive forgiveness as it is. Would I accuse myself of doing this? I will not lay this chain upon myself. In everything you do, remember this: no one is crucified alone, and yet no one can enter heaven by himself.
Mm.
Wow.
So all attack on a brother is always self-attack, which is why we would ask, would I condemn myself for doing this? Because as I condemn a brother, I am condemning myself. It reminds me of that retreat we had in Denver. And we had a sister who just says, you know, come hell or high water, I cannot forgive my mother. I just can't. And right through my mouth, Jesus gave this visual, and I thought it was really profound, and maybe it would be helpful. But he said, you know, imagine that your mother's up there on the cross and you're down there at the bottom with a mallet in your hand, you know, and you're looking up at her on there and you're feeling that vindictiveness of, yeah, you know, you did this to me, but you see her and she's up there, and just visualizing that. And then he said, now take your mother down and place yourself up on the cross, do it like a switch, a role reversal. And then after a pause, he said, now picture me up there.
Oof.
You see Jesus up there. And he looked right at her through me and he said, there is no difference.
Wow. Whoa, just got the chills again. Woo!
Yeah, there is no difference. Okay, so.
Thank you, sis. Very, very powerful.
Yeah, that was, I can still feel it. And I just like, wow, that's, yeah. Just one sonship. Thank you. Thanks, sis. That was wonderfully read. Loved everything you said.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for joining and sharing. Thank you.
All right.
Well, you know, one thing just before we.
Yeah. Time out. You want me to cut the recording, sister? Okay, keep it rolling.
But just one thing I'm noticing more and more now is the opportunity for forgiveness. Right? We know we're making real progress when we're able to find gratitude in our forgiveness lessons. Right?
Yes.
Because because if there is no gratitude, there is no forgiveness. Gratitude is the sign that forgiveness has indeed taken place. Yeah, because, you know, and I mentioned this before, probably, I can't remember where, but oh Lord, I went through so much forgiveness in that first 15 or so years of the course. I really thought that I'd forgiven everyone, everything, you know, and only to realize that I really hadn't forgiven, because I still couldn't come to the gratitude.
Yeah. This whole thing about gratitude, when you see that they actually brought a gift to you, and while you still harbored resentment and unforgiveness, you hadn't accepted it and you kept the dynamic going. Even if they were no longer in your life, you're still using them to attack yourself. But when you truly forgive and see, wow, the way I saw you was how you have never been, you triggered me so badly. But when I went within and I found the basis of that trigger, boy, you triggered some belief that I've been carrying around since I was 3 years old. And I've always believed that I was worthless, and you triggered that in me. And I've always blamed you, but I'm willing now to take my projections off of you and go within and do some inner work, some rummaging around with self-honesty with the help of Holy Spirit, and locate that burdensome chain on my mind, that belief, that false belief that bolstered my sense of unworthiness. And when I saw it and I gave it over to the Holy Spirit and it was taken from me, and I recognized it was never true, and that it has been running through my life in like a virus in all areas of my life. And when I felt it lift, the freedom that came with that, now I recognize I would have carried that all through this incarnation if it had not been for my brother, my beloved brother, who came along to, you know, pick at that and say, are you ready to look at this? How about now? How about now? Okay, yes, I'm ready to look at it. Thank you for the gift of freedom. And thank you for the great pearl of introducing me to my holiness. Yes. Who could you possibly repay? How could you ever say thank you enough to the one that introduces you to your incorruptible innocence and the way to the peace of God, right? I mean, you can't convey enough gratitude to that brother. But when you start to feel it and go, wow, I would have never gotten this without my brother. He's really a saint, an angel here to help me. It was never happening to me. He was always there for me. That's when you know forgiveness is done.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you, sis.
Yeah, we're gonna keep looking at this one. This is a biggie. And for all of those of you who are still having trouble with something that you think has occurred, don't worry about it. It's an onion and it's getting peeled back. And as you offer your willingness to forgive some of the other things, you're going to find the benefit of forgiveness, and you will come to a place where you're really willing, through snot and tears, to look at the one you think just wrecked your life, hurt you in a way that's unforgivable. And that's, you know, where you take your shoes off, because where you're standing is holy ground, and you watch the shift occur, and, you know, the whole world is healed. And so I want to encourage you that it'll be done in his divine timing. So if there's just something that you won't, that's okay. It'll come. Yeah.
He promises that.
He does. And don't worry about me. I'll just be hanging out on the cross while you take your sweet time. Okay.
No guilt, right? No guilt.
Don't worry about the sonship. We're all right. I'm sorry. A little levity is good. Okay. We love you.
Thank you. Love it.
We love it with all our heart. Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Love you. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, sis.